I must confess, the hum of a grav drive makes me feel alive. Hey, Andreja. Had another run-in with the Zealots, huh?
Indeed, I did.
Good luck out there on the fringe.
I did what I did.
Found one. Easy as a needle in the stack. Hope those powers you're getting to overinflate you. Got enough egos in Constellation. Keep both eyes on the back while you... You've tipped my ear. Find myself thinking of the fleet. You know you can take a mark, you don't open comms. It's all storm and fire and sifting the wreckage after it's over. But if you're not so sure, you play the bully's gambit. Hope they don't challenge the threats you throw at them. Sound familiar? Maybe. All the worse for us, not knowing their intent. A striker lurking in the shadows has good reason to hide. Won't be easy to drag them into the light. Jaw the words another...
I have things for you. Landing site locked. Take us in.
stood the test of time. Two of us make quite the pair, eh? No, we done talking already. I have something for you when you have a moment.
Keep moving, the scanners won't hurt you.
You looking to get zoned? Yeah? Well, if I had a credit for every time I heard that line, I wouldn't be stuck working in this place. So, I'm guessing you're the rook that Delgado sent. Well, let me save both of us some time. Turn around, fly back to the key, and tell the big boss that I'm in no mood to screw around. We'll make this deal when he starts taking me seriously. Come on, give me a break. You're not exactly a top dog over there at the key, now are you? Sending me a rook to handle a job this risky is a goddamn insult. And I'm getting tired of the fleet not taking me seriously. I spent the last 3 months setting up this job, burned 2 contacts and a hell of a lot of credits. The whole time, I'm also keeping Bayu off our backs. That idiot even catches a whiff of money and he latches onto you like a damn leech.
The few times I've dealt with Benjamin Bayu in the past have been rather unpleasant, to say the least.
That's the way it's gonna be, huh? Fine. I don't have a ton of time to stand here and screw around, so I'm gonna make this as clear as possible. You want the conduction grid tech, then you're gonna have to download it from the power core of Generdyne's facility in the underbelly. Some fancy name the brain-trusted Generdyne calls the room where all the power from the conduction grid is stored. Cute, right? Hey, don't look at me. I didn't build the damn thing. All I know is that the tech inside the place is valuable. Beneath your feet, genius. It's the lowest level of neon. Generdyne and Xenofresh are down there, along with some of the finest cuisine in the city. I'm talking about Generdyne's main power plant for neon. All their cushy offices might be up in the trade tower, but the nuts and bolts of their operation are running beneath the city. Love the confidence. But before you pull the ripcord, I'm afraid I need to add a bit of a wrinkle. While you're inside Generdyne, I need you to plant a virus into their system. It's a simple side job that'll earn you some credits. I think you can handle it. The elevator doesn't exactly go to the top floor in that head of yours, does it? Everything in the Crimson Fleet is accomplished through a decent helping of give and take. As in, I'm not going to give you the information to get your precious data unless you take this virus and upload it like I asked. That's because you're planning it for me as a favor. Generdyne has all sorts of tasty, valuable snacks in their databanks, and I want access. Here, take this microdrive and access the computer in Breyson Bayu's office. It'll do the rest on its own. Yep, nepotism has its advantages. Word on the street is that the Generdyne gig is the only one Benjamin could get for his younger brother. He's not the brightest. Let's just say that information can be just as lucrative as selling Aurora and keep it at that, okay? But don't worry, I promised Delgado that when it came to the conduction grid data, that's his territory. I won't touch it. It might be wireless, but you aren't going to be able to use it from here, genius. Generdyne's got their place locked down tight, but as usual, the weak link comes from the people that work there. I recommend you start with Atuki Komiko, an upper-level exec at Generdyne. Get your hands on her security pass, and you'll have the run of the place. You should be asking what won't you need it for. The facility is closed to the general public, and they keep all of their important files encrypted. Not to mention the fact that there's gonna be all sorts of nasty security inside you're gonna want to bypass. The catch is that Komiko's having a little fling with Benjamin Bayu. Anyway, you can find Komiko at Euphorica. Talk to the owner of the place, Myka. She'll point you in the right direction. As for dealing with Komiko herself, she's got an office in the trade tower if you're looking for something incriminating. The rest is up to you, Rook. When you're done, come meet me at the VIP booth in the Astral Lounge so we can celebrate. Businesswoman, tough as hull plating. She's the COO at Generdyne, and I can assure you she didn't get there with her winning smile. As for her relationships, well, that's a bit more complicated. Publicly, she's having a bit of a fling with Benjamin Bayu, but rumor has it that she's just using Bayu and having a little bit of fun on the side with Myka, the owner of Euphorica. If I were you, I wouldn't bother trying to appeal to her good nature. She's a manipulative person who uses people to get what she wants. Pretty laid-back club over in Ebside. Owner's name is Myka. She's young, but sharp as a razor, and has gang muscle to back her up. The little Aurora lounge she has tucked away in the building is the real gold mine. Said she modeled it after opium dens on old Earth. Bayu takes a cut of the profits, of course, but rumor says it's way less than he usually takes. No one knows why. Nepotism gets him the job at Generdyne as their chief technician, yet the guy doesn't know the first thing about electrical engineering. They obviously invented the position just to give the moron a salary. One of the many poorly kept secrets in Neon. Frankly, I think he's such a screw-up. Benjamin Bayu stuck his ass in that facility under the city to keep him out of the limelight. Not much to tell, really. Thanks to their nifty little conduction grid, they're able to provide power for the entirety of Neon. Damn thing was supposed to be some kind of miracle invention, turning lightning into usable electricity. Neat trick, right? Only catch is that you need a planet like Voli, where lightning strikes often enough to make it feasible. Guess how many of those exist? Ding! If you said 0, you're absolutely correct. So Generdyne has been in dire financial straits for years. It's that hideous canopy over the center of the city that keeps the rich folks dry. Some folks around here call it the Span. I think it's a massive eyesore, like some sort of a modern art piece gone haywire. You can't miss it. Just poke your head outside and look up. You're not the only one. The only reason they haven't folded is because they charge exorbitant fees for power. I'm talking 2 or 3 times what it costs in New Atlantis. Okay. Now, on to round 2 of our little game. Guess who has a major stake in Generdyne and soaks up all that delicious profit? Not a single one. In fact, there are no legal alternatives for anything in this godforsaken city. The only thing people can do is deal with the bullshit and try to get on with their miserable lives. But let's get back to round 2 of our little game. Guess who has a major stake in Generdyne and soaks up all its delicious profit? Ooh, not even close. The answer you were looking for isn't another corporation. It's a person. It's good old Benny Bayu. That son of a bitch has a finger in every single pie and the sorry excuse for a city. Generdyne's no different. All off the books, of course. How the hell do you think Breyson Bayu got the job down there? It wasn't because of his good looks or smarts, I can promise you that. Don't let Komiko push you around. She isn't as tough as she seems.
You try a velocity yet? It'll change your life.
Din. I wanted to talk to you, but honestly, I don't know where to begin. The Starborn's technology is simply astonishing. It's just almost too much to process. course not. No one has. If an encounter with this level of importance had occurred in the past, I assure you that Constellation would be well acquainted with it. Yes, I suppose I am. But you can hardly blame me, can you? You do understand the significance of this encounter, don't you? This is humankind's first contact with what I believe is an alien race. A race with technology that could be far superior to our own. Oh, we could learn so much from them. The way they behaved, I'd say that's not very likely. If we are to learn anything from the Starborn, we're going to have to take the initiative ourselves. I wouldn't say I was afraid, more like approaching the situation with caution. Can't be a coincidence that these Starborn suddenly appeared after your experience at that temple. We know they're here to lay claim to the artifacts, but what's their true motivation? What are they telling us? I feel exactly the same way, but it certainly sounded like they weren't willing to work with us at all. Damn. Oh, if only we knew more about the Starborn. What their species is like, where they're from, how they're able to speak our language. I feel like a cadet on my very first day aboard a spaceship. My mind is absolutely swimming with questions. No, not time travelers. I don't think the science is there to support that theory. Their name alone, Starborn. There's some type of hidden meaning there. Something that feels very old, perhaps even ancient. Whatever the case may be, I can assure you that Constellation intends to get to the bottom of this mystery. I'm not really sure. Scientifically speaking, we're all born from the stars. Most of the chemical components of our body, carbon, oxygen, sulfur, are exactly the same as those manufactured by internal stellar reactions. Now, ask someone like Matteo the same question, and he'd probably give a more theological answer. But hey, it's all a guessing game anyway. Exactly. We must use all of the tools at our disposal to learn more about the Starborn and their connection to the artifacts. I certainly hope so. You know, it's funny. When I was a little girl, I'd lay on the ground and stare up at the stars. I was absolutely convinced they held a secret. I'd remain there for hours in silence, eyes closed, listening, waiting for the secret to be whispered in my ear. This encounter with the Starborn is that moment to me. The stars are finally whispering, and I need to hear what they have to say. Truthfully, I haven't the slightest idea. But just the thought that any of the secrets of the universe could be revealed from these Starborn is terribly exciting. I knew I could count on your support. Well then, I've certainly wasted enough of your valuable time. Just do be careful if you cross paths with these Starborn in the future. I wouldn't want to lose one of the most valuable members of Constellation.
But here, at
Not.
Picked up something you might be interested in.
Yeah, what? Is this important? I'm really busy right now. Let me save you some time. If you're here for a job, we're not hiring. If you're here about the Conduction grid tour, we shut it down a year ago. Well, like I said, it's shut down. Had to cut the entire tour staff too. Look, I'm sorry if I'm blowing up at you, but I've got a ton of problems and no time to deal with them all. I'm afraid that things aren't going terribly well around here. Why? Because I'm sick and tired of putting on a corporate face and pretending that nothing's wrong. It's do or die time around here. We can either spin our wheels forever or worse, go under completely. I don't care if I'm allowed to or not. I'm happy to get this off my chest. The Conduction grid went online almost 75 years ago. And since then, we haven't developed a single groundbreaking innovation. At this point, the money we're taking in as a power utility barely covers the waste that's going on in the Research and Development Division. No, of course not. We still produce smaller power systems and backup generators, but nothing even close to the magnitude of the Conduction grid. Generdyne needs to come out with something spectacular to put us back on the map. If not, we'll remain stagnant forever, or worse. Unfortunately, no. I'm in third on the corporate ladder. One step above me is Atuki Komiko. She's the COO of the company. And then there's Kaito Harada, our esteemed CEO who never seems to be around. You'd think that, right? The problem is that Breyson Bayu, Administrator Bayu's brother, is currently heading up the R&D division. I swear to you, the man doesn't know the first thing about power systems or electromagnetic technology. I can give you 117 reasons. Our employees. If Generdyne goes completely under, how many of them will lose their jobs? How many might get cut in a restructure? My position puts me in charge of the welfare of our personnel. I can't in good conscience allow that to happen to them. Isn't it obvious? Administrator Bayu clearly leaned on Ms. Komiko to get his brother hired. It's nepotism in action. Of course there are. But so far, Breyson has suppressed most of their work through pure jealousy. Look, I'm running out of options. No one above me seems to care what's going on, but I'm willing to take a chance. I have a full report on Breyson that I want to send to Administrator Bayu, but I don't know if he can be trusted. What do you think I should do? It describes my aggravation with how badly Breyson Bayu is running the Research and Development Division. I'm also including a list of all the failed experiments he's greenlit, and how much they've cost Generdyne as proof of his incompetence. I'm praying someone as financially successful as Administrator Bayu might be able to put aside his ego and look at this from a business perspective. You know what? You're absolutely right. I can't allow Breyson to run this company into the ground. Hey, look, thanks for helping me out with this. It's been on my mind for a long time. If there's anything else you need, any questions at all, feel free to ask. That's an excellent question, and the answer for it is surprisingly simple. The conduction grid is only effective in lightning-rich environments. That's why Volai was chosen as its primary development site. Generdyne has always hoped to adapt the grid's absorption technology for other applications, but nothing public has ever been announced. The span above the city is outfitted with a specially developed electromagnetic absorption system. When a lightning discharge hits the span, the energy is instantly distributed across the grid to prevent overload. The energy is then transferred through a series of polyphasic capacitors and rectifiers to ensure all of the negative and positive strikes are equalized. At this point, the energy is clean, and it gets stored in massive storage cells in Neon's underbelly, from which it's parceled out and used for power. Generdyne was founded in 2232 by the original designer of the conduction grid, Felicia Corbin. Working from her facility in Neon, it took her almost 25 years to get the conduction grid up and running. That was Generdyne's first and last major success. As long as it doesn't get me into serious trouble, ask away. I've only been working here for a few years now, and she's been my boss the entire time. Well, the big boss is our CEO, Mr. Harada. But I've actually never met him. He lives somewhere in New Atlantis, I think. She's my boss. She's fine, I guess. Look, like I said, I don't want to get into serious trouble. She might be a bit tough on all of us, but being responsible for Neon's power grid is a very stressful position. Sometimes that stress trickles down. Sure, no problem. Thanks for taking the time to talk. Hello. It's good as long as it doesn't. Whoa. Okay, that's crossing the line. I can't discuss company matters like this. I'm glad you understand the position I'm in here. Okay, listen. You didn't hear this from me, but I know she's up to something with Benjamin Bayu. He was in her office a few weeks ago, and they had some kind of shouting match. It got really heated until Bayu stormed out the door. I don't know what it was about, but I happen to know Miss Komiko keeps audio recordings of all her meetings in her safe. And before you ask, yes, I'll unlock it for you. Just don't tell anyone I helped, okay? Because I'm sick and tired of the corruption that's running through this city. People around here spend half their lives terrified about being backstabbed, and spend the rest of it planning on how they're going to screw over someone else. Something rotten is going on in this company, and one day, I hope to find out what it is. It was great speaking with you.
If you want to talk, you'll have to schedule an appointment.
Can't talk, I've got a deadline coming up.
Are you supposed to be here?
Find anything useful on there?
What? I'm working here.
Be careful if you run into those people.
Store today, boss. Your tag's still on it.
Yeah, and it's gonna stay that way.
You good?
If you're planning on using Aurora, you people should leave her alone. What do you want with her? Not that it's any of your business, but we're very close. We're in love. I refuse to let anything bad happen to her, no matter how much trouble she's gotten herself into. Yeah, sure. Tell me another one. You debt collectors are low-life assholes. She's broke, okay? Now get out of my club before I get really pissed off and have you thrown into the street.
No, really? I'd like to see you try.
The Crimson Fleet? Oh my, I'm sorry. I had no idea. I didn't mean anything by it, really. Sorry, well, I worry about her. Ayumi owes a lot of money around town. I'm trying to help her out, but, you know, I have a business to keep afloat. If you want to talk to her, you can find her in the members' lounge. You already have access, so you should know the way. Enjoy your stay.
I like coming here. It lets me forget everything else.
Yes?
Yeah. What do you want? Before you continue, let me save you some time. If you're having a problem with your POW or complain about your rates, you need to contact our customer service department. Anything else? You must be zoned out of your mind, because there's no way anyone sober would say something like that. How the hell did you find that? It was Estelle Vincent, wasn't it? That bitch. I knew I should have kept that somewhere else. Here, take this pass. It should get you through the storage room entry to the facility. I'm warning you though. Once you're inside, you're trespassing in a high-security zone. That means they shoot on sight. Good luck. You're going to need it. I suppose if I don't explain, a copy of that recording you found might end up on the next SSNN report. Okay, fair enough. A few years back, the previous CEO of Generdyne went missing. As the COO, I was next in line for the job. Instead, Bayu muscled his way into the company and gave me an ultimatum. Either back up his bullshit Mr. Harada identity, or I'm gone. I had no choice. But I decided right then and there, I was going to do whatever I could to take what was rightfully mine. If that meant seducing Bayu to tip him off balance, then so be it. Luckily for me, Myka's been incredibly understanding about the whole thing. What do you think happened? Bayu started sticking his nose into Generdyne's business, all but outright demanding a cut of the profits. In response, the CEO made a huge mistake by threatening to take his grievances to the FC. His shuttle never arrived. Need I say more? More than you can possibly imagine. Myka is the only person in this godforsaken city that's kept me from going completely under. She doesn't want money, doesn't use me for influence or as a stepping stone to get ahead. She loves me for being me, and I love her for being the same. And when this stupid bullshit is over, and Bayu is 10 fathoms deep under Neon, we'll be there for each other. Forever. If you had to work with Breyson Bayu, you'd understand. The man is still a totally incompetent fool, and he's running our company into the ground. The worst part of it is that he's Administrator Bayu's brother, so I can't fire him. I can't reassign him. I can't even yell at him. It's like having a cut on your body, and you're helplessly watching yourself bleed to death. Except in our case, we're hemorrhaging money. What is this? A job interview? I'm the COO of the company, second to the top, right under our esteemed CEO, Mr. Harada, also known as Benjamin Bayu. So when you ask me what I do for Generdyne, the answer is nothing. The Bayus run the show, and I tread water. The salary helps, of course, but at the end of the day, I'm just a joke. Sitting in an office to make things look legitimate. Keeps them off the Freestar Collective's radar. They might actually step in if they discover that the same person controlling the city's regulations and bylaws benefits financially from them. If you haven't figured it out by now, Benjamin has a stranglehold on the city. You can't take a piss without him charging you after flush. Try and get in his way, and then he uses Neon security to beat you senseless, or the Sioga Syndicate to make you disappear. Remember, we never talked. Got it?
Can you believe Zero Fresh charges us a license? I'm afraid I'm not in the best of spirits right now, but I'll try and help. Oh, there you are. I'm feeling a bit better today. Sorry about all that before. The thing is, well, I lost my husband Thomas last week. He supposedly had a heart attack and fell from the upper platform. Of course, that's the official word from Neon Security. I'm not so sure they're telling me the truth. He was almost 70, but according to Dr. Manning over at Reliant, he was in good health. Heart attack, my eye. There's no way that's what happened. No. They certainly aren't. How that security officer could stand there and tell me Thomas died of a heart attack. Well, it's a damn lie is what it is. I'm sorry, this is my problem. You're just here to shop, and here I am filling your head with my conspiracy theories.
Please forgive me. Oh my. You're the first person in this awful, awful city that's reached out to help me. Thank you. The security officer's report said they never recovered my poor Thomas's body, which means they're only assuming he had a heart attack. But instead of leaving the case open until further evidence has been discovered, they've closed the book. I want to know why. The truth is all I've ever wanted. I suppose the proper place to start would be with Neon Security's witness, Tevin Anastas, that pompous ass over at the Emporium in Neon. Just please be very careful. I don't want to end up with 2 murders on my conscience. Oh, everyone has problems with Neon Security. They're terribly corrupt, with Administrator Bayu using them as his own personal brute squad. They come in here from time to time, but apart from being forced to give them employee discounts, I've never had anything suspicious happen. Tevin owns the Emporium over in Bayou Plaza. He's a horribly overbearing, pretentious man who wouldn't dare set foot in the underbelly. The strange thing is, we've never had to deal with him in person. Why he'd be involved in Thomas's death is absolutely beyond me. My husband and I opened the shop about 8 years ago. We were hoping to cater to the workers at Generdyne and Xenofresh. The business has had its ups and downs, but lately our rent has skyrocketed, so we've been forced to raise our prices. Unfortunately, the workers assumed we were becoming greedy, and as a result, we've had a couple of incidents with shoplifting and some vandalism. Honestly, well, I'm just trying to make a living. Sure, I suppose that would be fine. Be careful. Neon is a dangerous place.
be a lot of valuable tech disappearing from Generdyne to justify all the scrutiny of their own employees. Facility, but I suppose they need all of this infrastructure to convert the lightning to electricity. Got another one!
Laboratory results, Project GRD-089A. Technician Oyama reporting. The emissive current beaming system is not performing as per Chief Technician Bayu's parameters. His vision that a massively high voltage current can be projected through the air has proven to be impossible. Though such systems have existed in the past, the amount of power required to transfer energy from the conduction grid into our storage is prohibitively expensive. The Chief Technician has had us work for 3 straight weeks on an emission array, and I can conclude without a doubt that it's completely impractical. When I pressed him about the overrun on costs of the project, he said, and I quote, "Don't worry about it. I know what I am doing."
This is gonna end badly for you. Show me what you've got. You're dead. You hear me? This isn't worth it.
You're done for!
I'm going to end you!
Must have scared them off.
You're mine!
I'm not going down.
Don't leave any of that behind. Look at the circumference of these conduits. They must be rated to carry an immense amount of power. happening, darling? I'll only carry the good stuff. Just kidding. Maybe if you're lucky, we'll talk later.
Without a fight! I can't do this! This isn't worth it!
Technician Shibata, currently posted to Generdyne's R&D laboratory. Personal notation. I'd like to go on record about my feelings about Chief Technician Bayu. Though most of my fellow employees feel that he's underqualified and incompetent. I feel that they are underestimating him. I've spoken to Breyson at length, and I find him actually to be a kind and endearing person. I think that living in the shadow of his brother, Administrator Benjamin Bayu, has given him a bad name, and that's a shame. From what I can gather, he was placed in his current position against his own better judgment and asked to do the impossible. It's an unfortunate situation, but I will endeavor to get the rest of the technicians in the department to be more supportive.
Switching to a new target. Troubles? Don't stay away too long.
Show his face again. Hey! Get out of here! Good game. Left on.
Stop! Please! Don't shoot. If you want the encryption cipher, you're welcome to it. There's no need for all this violence. When you accessed the computer in the power core, it sent a notification to me here. I knew you were coming, I just didn't know when. No catch. I'm not trying to trick you. You want the cipher? It's yours. At this point, I'd do anything to get back at my brother. He deserves everything he's got coming to him. Look, I'm giving you what you want. The least you can do is hear me out. You know, I've spent my entire life living in Ben's shadow. Everything always works out for him, while I've been bouncing from one job to the next, barely keeping afloat. And all the while, he laughs at me behind my back. Thinks it's hilarious to make fun of his stupid brother. Like I wouldn't eventually find out.
Tyrants like your brother eventually fall. It's inevitable. Perhaps you should just give it some time.
One advantage to being perceived as stupid is that no one takes you seriously. When I walk into a party, I'm instantly the resident social pariah. But my eyes and ears are wide open. I can't tell you the number of times I've overheard that my brother has spread amusing anecdotes about his stupid brother. That wouldn't do any good. For every scheme he's gotten himself into, he has a bulletproof exit strategy. Man's virtually immortal.
Ugh, that's true. He's a slippery man who can worm his way out of any legal situation.
You know what? I am sick to death of being pushed around. It's my turn to take control for once. The passcode for my terminal is GEN-41A18. That should give you access to the cipher and whatever else you need. I'm getting out of here while I still can. After you're done, I suggest you do the same. Because he's a two-faced son of a bitch, that's why. It's not like I should be surprised. When we were younger, we never got along very well. I mean, he's 11 years older than I am. We had two different mothers. Might as well have been from two separate families. That's an understatement. I never knew my actual mother. She was my father's mistress. And I was told she vanished from Neon when I was only 2 years old. Ben's mother, she didn't give a crap about me. Wouldn't even let me call her Mom. I just had to call her Liliana. Can you imagine? And then there's Dad. So buried in the day-to-day operations of Neon, he didn't have time to pay attention to his bastard son. Yeah, I've tried, but I always hit a dead end. It's as though she was here one day and suddenly vanished the next, and then her existence was erased from everyone's memory. I wouldn't be at all surprised if my father had her killed to avoid public embarrassment. That's the kind of man he was. Yeah, maybe. Or he could just be a first-class asshole who takes after our father. Look, I appreciate what you're trying to do, and it's nice to get this off my chest, but talking about it isn't gonna change a thing. That's why I gave you the encryption cipher. Anything I can do to stick it to Ben, that's the real therapy. As usual, you can thank my dear brother for that. At first, he made me deputy administrator. That went well, until I wouldn't cooperate with Owen Dexler and all of his thugs at Neon Security. Then he had me work with Valentina over at Xenofresh, helping with Aurora distribution, until she pinned a credit skimming scam on me. And now, here I am, chief technician at Generdyne, when I don't even know the first thing about electrical engineering. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, I'm at about, I don't know, a -8. I don't have the background for this electrical engineering stuff. Chief technician? It's ridiculous. Ben stuck me down here expecting me to work miracles. He didn't stop for even a second to think of the repercussions. That's so typical. All I need is one breakthrough, one, and I could shove this job right in his face. Damn, that would feel good. Holy crap. You might be right. I mean, it would take some time, but I bet I could figure it out. All this time I've been trying to develop something new, and it's been staring me in the face for years. Oh man, that is so like me. Thank you for giving me that kick in the ass I needed to get going. Thanks again for the talk. It really helped.
For God's sake, drop some of that rubbish already.
Run into spacers?
Come on in, if you don't see it.
Have things for you.
Luzion Industries help you get there. Fill out an application today.
You need to move some merch. Always happy to take your money. Then hear it. You done here? Time to move on. This better not be a waste of my time. All right? It was off. If it's too hard to handle. Yeah. Yeah, what? Now we're getting. done here? Time to move on.
Those corporate sales.
You're in the Vanguard, right?
Back off. That's an order, not a suggestion.
Ah, there you are. What kept you? I believe we have a lot to discuss. It's obvious you're here to meet someone. Fortunately for them, they rented this VIP room under a false name. I assume that same someone provided you with that clever little virus you installed into Generdyne's systems. Well, yes. You didn't think your little foray into Generdyne would go completely undetected, did you? All too well. You know, I should give credit where it's due. That virus is quite impressive. It will cost me tens of thousands of credits to remove. That's the last time I'll ever take the Crimson Fleet's capabilities for granted. Because, like the majority of revenue-generating businesses in the city, I have a vested interest in Generdyne's profits. But more importantly than simply losing money, I don't like anything in my city being interfered with without my approval. Probably. But do you want to know why that's not going to happen? It's because I don't negotiate with pirates. They don't understand commitments or contracts. How to get the deal done with finesse. No. For your kind, it's only brute force and violence. Shoot first, take whatever you want, and ask questions later. That's not how I do business. That's what they tell me. Look, I'm not here to debate. I'm here to make an offer. All you have to do is tell me who's profiting from the virus you've uploaded. In return, I'll let you leave the city alive.
You make my skin crawl, Bayu.
You don't have to worry about that in the least. You point me to our little mole, and I'll do the rest. You don't even have to get your hands dirty. Really? That's the story you're going with. Very well. There's a body that Neon Security is going to be discovering very soon. One with concrete evidence that links you to the murder. I'd say you have about 1 hour to leave this place before you have a price on your head.
You'd have someone killed to pin the crime on us. Oh, you're a wretched excuse for a human being, Bayu.
So, I assume this concludes our little arrangement, and you'll be leaving our fair city. Oh, when you get back to the Key, be certain to give Neva and Delgado my warmest regards.
How's things for you?
For advanced teller machines. Galbank ATMs are spread throughout the settled system in ancient Earth. Each of our baristas...
The Trackers Alliance always finds their mark.
Yeah, I know this place.
My partner.
Yes? What?
Pour me a velocity, dummy. I think we're in luck.
Estelle, you found a buyer. And in less than a week. I'm impressed.
There's just one teeny little catch, though.
Whenever there's a catch with you, it ends up costing me money.
Before you give me the guillotine, hear me out. The buyer wants the merch, but they want it tomorrow night.
And there it is. Do you have any idea what it will cost to get that many crates out of Xenofresh by tomorrow? No, not this time.
What if I told you they wanted 15 cases this time, at full price?
What about your comrades at the Crimson Fleet? Won't they want a taste? I'd hate to lose half of our profits.
You just worry about the shipment. I'll handle the fleet.
All right, Estelle. You have a deal. Here's your drink.
You're a doll, dummy. Cheers.
Glad you're back. Sorry about the whole Benjamin Bayu thing at the Astral Lounge, but I didn't have much of a choice. Can you believe the nerve of that smug son of a bitch? The man is priceless. Well, I was hoping we'd celebrate your return with some drinks and a pile of Aurora. I was about to start partying early when Boone Morgan tipped me off that Bayu was on his way down with some neon security goons. I'm pretty sure I missed him by less than a minute. Left a ton of good stuff behind, damn it. You're not the least bit concerned that he found the virus and figured out where we were meeting that quickly. Must be nice to be so naive. Yeah, I'm pretty much dead in the water at this point. Since Bayu flagged the virus, I can't risk accessing the system now. All that work I did trying to crack Generdyne is gone. Now I'm in a bit of a bind. The prep work for this job put me in deep for a bunch of cash, and I have no way to pay it all back. Well, a business partner of mine named Nix was the author of the virus. Don't know if you know him or not. Then there's the folks I paid to keep an eye on Atuki Komiko, a few of the guards at Generdyne. Like I said, it was a huge job. Honestly, I shouldn't be revealing my sources because that puts you on their radar as well. But hey, you asked. That's pretty cool of you to offer, but I know what he's gonna say.
Sorry, Estelle. This was your scheme. You're on your own.
Believe me, he's not gonna be much help. Look, I was hoping you'd pick up on what I was trying to ask, but the hell with it. I'll just ask. Can you cut me in for a little bit of cash you're making on this job? I mean, I did get you inside and practically hand you the data on the grid.
She's right, you know. Without her help, you never would have found your way into Generdyne.
I appreciate that. I really do. Having each other's back is what makes the fleet stronger, you know? How much are you willing to part with? Wow, that's way more than I expected. I had no idea you'd be so generous.
I had no idea either, but we do appreciate everything you've done, Estelle.
All right, I guess we're done here. Tell Delgado if he ever needs me for anything else. I've still got his back. And hey, you won't be hearing Rook from me anymore. As far as I'm concerned, you're one of us now. Lifeblood of the fleet. If anyone tries to tell you otherwise, you send them to talk to me. Now, how did I know you were gonna ask me that? Honestly, doesn't matter if I believe that Crix's legacy exists or not. What's important is that I believe in Delgado. If the man thinks that chasing shadows is gonna make us rich, then who the hell am I to judge, right? I mean, I'm not gonna jump off a cliff for him or anything, but hey, he needs an extra ship at his side, he's got it. I hear things are heating up back at the Key, so I might fire up my bird and head over to check things out. Rumor has it that Delgado has some solid info on the Crix's legacy story he's been hawking for the last few years. If there's even a chance that it's true, I want to be there when Shinya Voss starts splitting the loot, if you catch my meaning. Completely ruined? Nah. I was hoping it would stay on Generdyne's mainframe for the long term, but hey, at least it's already fed me a huge amount of data. Nix really knows what he's doing, though he charged me about 6 months worth of earnings. With any luck, I'll be able to recoup my costs in no time. Just watch your ass. Benny isn't exactly gonna be tickled that you've been talking to his brother.
Can I get you something?
The strikers are upstairs. Better be in a...
I have something for you when you have a moment.
Ship is now docked. Perfect. Didn't even smudge them.
You might be interested in.
All hell's breaking loose, Rook. Delgado needs you in the repair bay with Jazz as soon as possible. Hooray! You got the conduction gizmo. You did exactly what we asked you to do. Good work, pat on the head. Are you ignoring me or something? I just said there's an emergency. Oh, that's hilarious. You're a real comedian, you know that? Now get your ass to the repair bay. Go!
Good day, Captain. How may I be of service? Commencing item... Although my database of human history is not fully complete, it is quite extensive. At this time, I am unable to locate any valid references. Given the unusual nature of the encounter, it is reasonable to surmise that any earlier occasions would have been documented. One explanation is that this is the first time they have been discovered. An alternate explanation is that prior encounters resulted in 0 survivors to document the experience. That is the preferred explanation, given the implications for your future survival, but it remains the case that their first interaction consisted of threats of violence. Good day, Captain.
You looking to start something? Because I'll finish it.
Better to stop here than down on the surface of Suvorov.
I always thought Heelys were just pests.
Weapons for all. If your credits are good, I'm open. All right, see you around. Every captain here's earned their stripes.
And you are sure we will have those defense batteries up and running?
No, I'm not sure. They're in bad shape, Del. Really bad shape. I'm already using duct tape and spit to keep the station from falling apart, and you want me to pull a rabbit out of my hat?
I don't want to hear excuses. I want to hear that it's going to be fixed. Period. Get it done.
All right, I'm on it.
You want to quit standing there and hand over the conduction grid data?
Nothing you need to worry about.
Stay in your own space lane and let Jazz do her damn job. Now, do you have what we sent you to Neon for, or not?
Ah, perfect. I'll take that.
Dependable as always. Unlike some people we know.
Oh, that's real funny.
All right, listen up because I don't want to repeat this twice. We've gotten word that UC SysDef is massing somewhere nearby for an attack on the key. While we prepare for their arrival, I want you to head straight for Bannock 4 and bring Crix's legacy home. I have a very reliable source at Mast. They were so concerned that the threat was real, they actually jumped the information out to us right away. Oh my God. Haven't you been paying attention? The only reason half the fleet's captains haven't scattered across the settled systems is because they're waiting for their part of the score. No money means no protection. No protection means we are done when SysDef arrives. Simple enough for you? Just slow down and listen before you jump the gun and ruin everything. Lay it out, Jess.
All right, first things first. I'm gonna upload this data you snagged from Generdyne into the Key's databanks. All you need to do is build and then install a conduction grid module onto your ship. Oh, and if you haven't already, you'll need the Comspike module installed as well.
While we're at it, perhaps we should fetch your groceries for you as well?
Once your ship is ready, jump out to Bannock 4, board the Legacy, and bring us the cash. You better pray that isn't the case, because that means we are done. As in, no more Crimson Fleet. Everything you'll need for ship repair and construction is down in Jass's section of the key. If you have any questions about the modules, she'll have all the answers. Of course there's a catch. What, you thought this would be easy?
After you board the Legacy, be on the lookout for 2 transfer modules. They're special keys that allow access to the ship's vault. Once you locate the vault's control center, hook up the data core I'm gonna give you, and download everything they've got.
And before you get any bright ideas, like running off with the money, that currency is going to be heavily encrypted. Only a genius like Shinya will be able to crack that encryption, so bring it back here right away. Because those Galbank ships were carrying so much money, they didn't even trust their own crew. That would be a first. I have yet to see encrypted currency that Shinya could not manipulate within hours. I mean, the guy plugs his body directly into his mainframe. He eats, breathes, and shits numbers all day. No, I'm not worried about him. Yeah? I sure hope so. Look, I'm gonna make this real simple for you. If that money ends up anywhere but the key, I will hunt you down and pry it out of your dead hands myself. Now get moving. The Crimson Fleet isn't really a fleet. It's an ideal. A principle that Krix sought to set up so that pirates didn't infight over scraps. Over time, that notion has been lost. Captains have been turning their backs on the fleet, doing jobs on the side, killing each other. Bringing Krix's legacy back to the fleet would be like validating everything Jasper Krix believed in. And I'm certain it would unify us once again. Of course, it wouldn't exactly hurt to have all that extra money at our disposal. But I think you catch my meaning. You've met some of them already. Mathis Castillo, Yevgeny Rokov, Juan Dayu, Estelle Vincent, and Adler Kemp. They might feel like independents to you, but each one of them has a stake in the Crimson Fleet. And each one of them wants a cut of the wealth. I am sending word out to every able-bodied captain that they are needed. We'll see how many answer the call. The toughest nut to crack is if UC Systef brings in the Vigilance. That Commander Ikande has himself a hell of a ship there. Advanced shield tech, bristling with weapons. I would love to see that thing burn. If we hope to stand a chance against it, we need those defensive batteries, and Krix's legacy. Get moving before it's too late.
I need to get those defensive batteries online, so make this fast. There are 3 defensive batteries, basically high-powered military space turrets, triangulated around the key. They were part of the UC's original defenses for the station. Pretty effective, too. Can put some serious hurt on enemy spacecraft. The good news is that the batteries have an incredibly wide field of coverage, so they can pick off ships trying to reach the key from any vector. The bad news is that they're 100-year-old tech. They keep breaking down and are expensive as hell to keep operational. Well, you already know that the conduction grid does a pretty nifty trick. It absorbs extreme voltage and converts it to usable power on neon. The version for your ship can still absorb incoming electrical energy, like, say, the EM field surrounding Bannock 4, but it can't store the power. Instead, it just scatters the EM harmlessly away from the hull, insulating you from frying every circuit aboard. As a nice side effect, I'm betting the module will make your ship somewhat EM weapon resistant and boost its shield regen. Lucky you. The Comspike traces and decrypts coded signals. As long as you have the transponder ID, you can track pretty much anything. That file you lifted from the Galbank archives contained the Legacy's transponder code, which I'll program into your nav system. All you have to do is get within the vicinity of Bannock 4, and the Comspike will automatically point you to the target. Cute toy, huh?
Not a problem. Conduction grid data is all set up in the system, so should be an easy install. You just watch your butt out there. SysDef might be on your 6. I need to get those defensive batteries online. Not a problem. Good. I'm busy. I need to get those defensive batteries on. Not a problem. Oh, yeah. I need to get those defensive batteries. Not a problem. Sure. I need to get those defensive batteries online, so not a problem. Sounds like fun.
After you, Captain.
UC will never crush the fleet.
The fleet's the only family. We'll have the whole settled.
I have things for you.
Ship's no longer docked. We're free.
Hi. Please disregard. I attempted an...
I haven't seen my family in a while.
All support ships have arrived, Commander.
Takes priority.
Good. After we're done here, arrange a briefing. I want all of their CEOs over here as soon as possible.
Yes, sir. The Commander appreciates the sacrifice you've made, going undercover. Excellent. Let me have it, and I'll upload it to our database. Benjamin Bayu, pride of the Free Star Collective. The authorities there have been trying to nail him for a long time. Bringing us proof that he's been manipulating Generdyne from the shadows is pretty tasty stuff. The FC will pay dearly for this. Good job. Any other fragments? Perfect. Taking her out of the running is going to seriously damage the Crimson Fleet's hold on Neon. Even better, that's one less fleet captain and one less ship to worry about. Anything else? Okay, fine. Even as long ago as the Narian War, Galbank used an extremely potent level of encryption on their currency. Unfortunately, the Unluck ciphers are lost to time. However, if you can bring us one of Galbank's old transfer modules, I know it would help. Don't worry, I'm sure some of the techs at MAST will be able to work with whatever you bring to reverse the encryption. Anything you can tell us would be helpful. Damn it. I was afraid of that. I'll warn our ships to use looser formations. Hopefully Durand isn't as clever as she thinks she is, or you can help us take the batteries down when the attack begins. Was that all? Yeah, I heard they even sent word to some of the contacts you met. They're writing an awful lot of checks they can't cover without Crix's legacy, but we'll be ready for them. Anything else? Okay, well. I suppose. Though the commander won't be thrilled that I told you, so keep it to yourself. So, when I was running with the Crimson Fleet, I put together a hell of a crew. 6 of the toughest pirates I could find. On the record, it's against regulations. My personnel profile is private, and you need the proper authorization to access the file. Off the record, Commander Akande isn't exactly popular at MAST for the way he runs his operation, so he likes to keep these things quiet. The fact that an ex-pirate is second in command to SysDef's pride and joy wouldn't inspire waves of confidence from his superiors. Oh, absolutely. I couldn't take my eyes off of any of them for even a second. Imagine trying to get some shut-eye on a ship like that. Didn't sleep much, I can assure you. My first mate was Arya Fikes, the toughest of the bunch. The only problem was that she had a hell of a temper. The smallest things could just set her off, and believe me, she took a while to cool down. Honestly, she was so overbearing she kind of fell into the role on her own. I didn't even make it official for months. Despite her temper, she always had my back and helped me keep the rest of the crew in line. Of course, it also helped that she was the best pilot in the fleet. She flew rings around what SysDef was throwing at us back then. Well, the positives outweighed the negatives. At first. Anyway, there was this one particular incident where we had a hot tip on a freighter supposedly running heavy with ore. The second we dropped out of grav space, we knew it was a trap. We'd been set up, and the UC was waiting for us. Somehow we managed to take out all of their attack ships. I grabbed Arya and we boarded the freighter. Well, it showed up on Shinya Voss's mission board, which means it could have come from anywhere. I don't know what he's like now, but back then, all of his missions were pretty solid leads with good pay. It wasn't brave. It was arrogant. We fought our way to the bridge and the crew surrendered. That's when the Vigilance arrived. I watched it vaporize my ship and crew in seconds. Commander Akande radioed over for us to give up, turn ourselves in. Arya went wild. Said she'd start executing crew if they didn't let us leave. The commander tried to talk some sense into her, but she was too far gone. I knew right then she'd rather die than surrender. None at all. We were marooned on that freighter. No ship, no escape shuttles, and no chance of rescue. Even as a pirate, I had my limits. I'd never shoot someone that was unarmed and couldn't fight back. As long as they surrendered and gave up the goods, there was no need for them to die. You can't even imagine. Commander Akande promised to be lenient if we let the crew go. When we didn't reply, he sent over a ship to board us. I saw Arya put her gun to one of the hostages' heads, and saw that look in her eye. I could actually see her squeezing the trigger. Next thing I knew, a shot rang out. I'll never forget that look on Arya's face as she fell to the ground with the wound in her chest. Looked down at the gun in my hand like it belonged to someone else. I still don't know why I did it. That's what I keep telling myself. I hope to God we're both right. Long story short, I spent a year in jail, then Keebway recruited me. I guess he saw something in me, a desire to turn my life around. I busted my ass to get where I am today. First mate of the Vigilance. Ironic I'd end up in Arya's position, don't you think? It took a while, and a lot of reflection, but I know we made the right choice. Had I continued down the road I was traveling back then, we wouldn't be speaking right now. I owe everything to Commander Akande for giving me a second chance. Let me know if you need anything else.
There you are. Where have you been? I've received the reports about that stunt you pulled inside of Generdyne. Opening fire inside a civilian facility. Are you out of your mind?
Generdyne is furious at us right now. They want Commander Akande to resign.
You always have a choice. People have died because you were too stubborn to find a safer solution. This is not how UC SysDev operates. I don't care if we're one step away from Crix's legacy. If you do it again, you're off this operation, and I'll have Top throw you in the brig.
It'll be my pleasure, sir.
All right. I think we're all in agreement here. So let's get back to the operation at hand. It's time to put all the cards on the table and prepare to attack the key. Good. The more confusion and panic we cause, the more damage we can potentially inflict. Before you jump to Bannock 4, I need to make one thing abundantly clear. The credits from that Galbank transport cannot reach the fleet. You have to bring them here at all costs. If Delgado gains access to those resources, we might be touching off a battle we can't possibly win.
We've been monitoring the Crimson Fleet's comm chatter in the Crix system. They're gathering allies by making promises based on your success.
As much as I hate to admit it, UC SysDev won't stand a chance. The fleet will become stronger and more unified than ever.
Perhaps the UC should have thought of these potential consequences before incarcerating those people on Suvorov.
Perhaps. But instead of spending time debating our predecessors' mistakes, we should be working towards a rapid solution. I've always known that when it came down to it, you'd do the right thing. All right, I guess this is it. Do whatever prep you need to do aboard the Vigilance, and then head out to Bannock 4. When you return here with Crix's legacy, we'll begin the attack. Good luck. During the end of the Narion War, the money was destined to bolster the Freestar Collective's coffers. Even though we were rivals at the time, and I suppose we still are to some extent, the credits still rightfully belong to their people. After the money is turned over to Mast, I'm certain arrangements will be made to return the money to the proper authorities in Aquila City. The evidence you've been bringing to Lieutenant Toft has been instrumental in convincing the brass at Mast to greenlight the attack. They've sent us support ships, extra troops, weapons, all on account of your role in the operation. To put it simply, if it wasn't for you, this operation would be at a standstill. Our directive is simple. We are tasked with the eradication of space piracy in the settled systems. As the chief source of pirate activity, the Crimson Fleet is our primary target. All my hopes go with you. Good luck.
Early reports say your mission on the Siren is a success.
We hunt piracy all across the galaxy.
Pardon.
If you ask me,
what do you want to talk about? You really pulled a number on me, Agent. Well
done. Back to gawk at the creatures in the cages? Be careful around the fleet. They talk about family, but it's just a bunch of crap.
How's the pirating business?
Hello, Captain. There is room in my... Farewell.
Might not be Jemison, but this ship is starting to feel like home. Well, well. Want to see what I'm carrying? I'll be counting the minutes to our next chat.
Let's get out there and do something new today, shall we?
I have something for you when you have a moment. Every time I return here, I'm reminded of the importance of Constellation's contributions to exploration.